sein jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll der ganzen Welt, Shabbos soll der ganzen Stadt, Shabbos soll der ganzen Welt, Shalom, Shabbos soll der ganzen Welt, Shabbos soll der ganze Stadt, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shalom. So sein jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shabbos soll der ganze Stadt, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shalom. Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shabbos soll der ganze Stadt, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shalom. So sein jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, so sein jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shabbos soll der ganze Stadt, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shalom. Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shabbos soll der ganze Stadt, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shalom. So soll jeden Shabbos, so soll Shabbos, so soll jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, ja, 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 so sein jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, so sein jeden Shabbos, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shabbos soll der ganze Stadt, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shalom. Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, Shabbos soll der ganze Stadt, Shabbos soll der ganze Welt, ganze Welt, Shabbat, Shabbos, good Shabbos, Shalom.
Shalom. Let's all just take a deep breath. Shalom. As we move toward the becoming revealed of Higalena, as we welcome Shabbat to put its sukkah of peace over us tonight, just take a breath and see what is there to uncover, to discover. Shabbat has us covered. Higalena.
Sing a new song, find a new way. Shiru Ladai, Shiru Shirchada, Shiru Ladai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basri Yomenu, Yeshuatu Oz, Apruva Goyim, Kevodo, Bechol Ha'amim, Teflohuta, Kikaton Adonai, Umulau Me'od, Norahu, Al Kol Elohim, Kol Elohim, Amen Elohim, Adonai, Shamayim Basar, Behada, Befana, Beferet, Befekasho, Avula Adonai, Mishpotamim, Avula Adonai, Kavodahu, Avula Adonai, Kevoto, Seulima, Roh Chazutat, Avula Adonai, Hazkunesh,
Mizmor LeDavid. Havul Adonai b'nei elim. Havul Adonai kavod va'ozai. Havul Adonai kevod shemo ishtachavu l'Adonai b'adrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod irim. Adonai al hamayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach. Kol Adonai behadar. Kol Adonai shover arazim. Yishaber Adonai et arzei alvanon vayarkidem kemo egel levanon ve'sirion כמו בין רמים, כל אדוני חוצב לבוטש, כל אדוני יאכיל מדבר, יאכיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני חולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות. ובהיכלו כולו מרכבו.
Ay, 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 Adonai, Ay, ay, ay. Ooh. So sometimes we need a little bit more strength. So we ask for strength for Anabechoach. And when you need a little more strength, you get another percussionist sometimes. So Shai Wetzer is here, and it feels like the ability to play with another person together in rhythm and groove and create a pulse, an interlocking of sounds is a gift. So I invite everybody for another big breath, because a lot of us have had a very, very tangled up week. A week in which so many threads are just knotting up with other threads. And Shabbat is a time where we untie these tangles. So we ask for the strength for untying. So another deep breath. Ana bechoach gedula simcha. Tatitzura kabel mina samcha. Ana bechoach gedula simcha. Tatitzura kabel mina samcha. All the strength I have and need, I ask for more so I can breathe. Untie these tangles for the songs and joy we sing. Accept our flaws, accept our dreams. Untie these tangles. Bless us, cleanse us with our grace. These times are hard, these times will face us. Untie these tangles. Receive our prayer, hear our cry. Know the secrets and the reasons why. Untie these tangles. Yeah, Shabbatenu kabel shema. Zakatenu yodea tamot. Baruch Shem Kivol Malchuto Yolam In our parsha this week, we have these words that identify the impurity, and the words are unclean, unclean. And this naming of this state of impurity is exactly the thing that allows the transition into purity to happen. So now I invite everybody to find a seat that feels comfortable and dignified, to allow the breath in, to make the breath your focus. And we will sit for a minute together. And as we sit, there are going to be thoughts that are coming to our attention. And when those thoughts come, name them twice. Name them twice. Worrying. Planning. As soon as you think of something and you're in that space, name it twice and then let it go and transition into the next state of consciousness as we sit together for a minute.
A poem by Maya Zinkel, inspired by the Parsha of this week, the portion, the sacred reading of this week. When you bleed, know that it is your body, being a body, holy, flowing, living waters, keeping time, like your beating heart, like the light from the sun splitting blue from white on the fringes of horizon. When you join body with body, know that God takes pleasure in bodily delight. Holy, flowing, living waters, creating contraction like your beating heart, like the light from the moon, cutting clear through your window from inky black summer sky. When you have a body, you will leak and you will love. You will hurt and you will heal. Whether by counting days and nightfalls or by offering sometimes precious as a bargain, as a talisman, as a transition, or both at the open door, marked by hyssop.
As we open the door to the bride, the Shekhinah, we invite the union between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Shekhinah in this beautiful, beautiful prayer poem, Lecha Dodi. nekabelas. Lecha dodi lekrat, yadada yadada yadada, say Shabbat, nekabeloy, yoy yoy yoy. Lecha dodi lekrat, kala yadada yadada yadada, say Shabbat, nekabeloy, yoy yoy yoy. Lo tevoshi, lo tikomi, ma tishtochachi, ma demi, yoy yoy. Vach yichesu, ani yami, ve'nivnesai, rapida, lekadodi, lekrakala, ay, 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 say Shabbat, lekabeloy, yoy yoy. Let's do some dancing. Lekadodi, lekrakala, yoy, ay, ay, say Shabbat, lekabeloy, yoy yoy. Hayul and Shiza, Shosayich, Verachaku, Komevalayich, Ayay, Yasser Salayich, Elohayich, Kem Safadana Kala, Lechadodi, Lechakala, Ay, 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 Hey, Shabbat, Lechabeloy, Yoy, 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 Lechadodi, Lechakala, Ay, 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 Hey, Shabbat, Lechabeloy, Yoy, 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 Yamin Tero, Teprofi, Yatakolas, Tadisi, Yayani, Ben Parsi, Ben Negetai, Rapida, Lechadodi, Lechakala, Ay, 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 Shabbat, Yaboy, Yoy, Lechadodi, Lechakala, Ay, 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 Shabbat, Lechadodi, Ay, 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 La, 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 Ay, 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 La, 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 Ay, Ay, La, 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 Ay, Ay, La, 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 Lechadodi, Lechakala, Ay, 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 Shabbat, Lekadodi, lekakala, ay, 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 Shabbat, Shabbat, yoy, yoy, ay, 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 la, 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 doy, ay, 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 Lekadodi, lekakala, ay, 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 Shabbat, Shabbat, lekadodi, lekakala, ay, 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 Shabbat, Shabbat. Lecha dodi lekrat kala ayada yalada yalada hey Shabbat lekadlo yoy 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 Lecha dodi lekrat kala ayada yalada yalada hey Shabbat kabelo yoy yoy holy shalom ateres palo gam besimcha uvetodo toch emune am segula bo ichala Shabbos samaka lecha dodi lekrat kala yanda 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 Shabbat kablo yoy 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 lecha dodi lekrat kala yoy 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 Shabbat kablo lecha dodi lekrat kala oy 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 Shabbos nekablo.
This time we invite mourners back into the sanctuary. Bring to our hearts and minds all those who are in need of healing. in this time that is so in need of healing. With all these names, those in our community for whom we pray, and we are with you. Anna Elna, Anna Elna, Rifana La, Anna Elna, Anna Elna, Anna Elna, Rifana La. Also holding in our hearts all the names in the chat, names on Facebook, names that are being shared silently for all of us in need of physical healing, of emotional, mental, spiritual healing. May there be a big healing.
Amen, amen.
Jeffrey.
Hello. Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos.
So many of you may have seen this in your inboxes today. So invitations to the benefit just went out, the formal invitations with all the information and opportunities. It really will be incredible. Marsha Meislin and Karen Goldstick as our honorees. And entertainment from Modi to Mandy, and of course Pharaoh's daughter, our own beloved Chazan Basia and her band. So please join us. It's going to be really interesting. There are going to be virtual tables. It's a really funky platform where you're going to be able to sit at a table with other people. The honorees can come in and talk to you and hang out. And of course for a great cause, for Romemu. With your contributions, we can continue to do what we do right now. So please join us. And Yeshiva, we've been announcing it. Well, now we have just released the information about all 15, yeah, you heard it, 15 courses, as well as a full online silent retreat. If you want to drop in for even just one of these courses, you can do it. So please, if you've never meditated, sat, studied deep text with us, and prayed Romemu Yeshiva style, please take the opportunity to join either for the full 4-week program or for any one of those classes. Just another shout out for this incredible book launch coming up. If you have kids, this is a great kids book. And Sigal Samuel, the author, will be talking to us about her incredible new book. And Shavuos is on the way. And we have just announced that we, Romemu, will be joining Chazon at Isabella Friedman live and in person. Rabbi Ingber and Chazan Schechter will be leading the Shavuot services with Chazon at Chazon, and it's an opportunity for everybody who wants to. There's limited space, but to join us in person at Isabella Friedman. Wow, incredible opportunity! And of course, if you can't join in person, we will be Zooming all the Shavuos services as well as the Tikkun Leil, parts of the Tikkun Leil, the all-night study. So come meet us in person or join us online. And then lots of other programs coming up. I'll just give a shout out. It is the Omer. It's the time of the Omer, and this great Womer program on Sundays throughout the counting of the Omer, the 7 weeks with incredible leaders, Nigel Savage, Karen Freed, Kohenet Eliza Rivka, Rabbi Perlow. It's a great lineup and it's a great program. So please join us, as well as some other great programs coming up. You can check the website, romemu.org/announcements for everything that's happening. And finally, tomorrow morning, the first of 2 weekends, 2 Shabbatot, celebrating the adult B Mitzvah class. This is the first cohort. These incredible community members who have been with us for a long time and have now been studying for their B'nai Mitzvot for the last year plus. Join us tomorrow morning. We are going to be in person. The davening team is going to be together in person in the West End Presbyterian Church, our church synagogue, for the first time in almost a year and a half now. We're really excited to be back there. At least the davening team will be together, and the B'nai Mitzvah class. So please join us tomorrow morning.
What a B Mitzvah rock star lineup. Yeah. Unbelievable. I would come just to see them. But the simcha is even better reason. You're muted, Chazan Basya.
Thank you. I'm just saying all these really smart things.
What did we miss?
We missed. We're actually trying to welcome all the anybody here who's new for the first time. Please just say your name and where you're from in the chat. We'd like to just say hello before we get a chance to kind of have like a few minutes of intimate time together. So I think the chat should be open, and yeah, we'd love to say hello if you're here for the first time, and if second time will work too. But first, just welcome.
Anybody ready to say hello for the first time?
Chat is open.
Welcome.
As that's getting going, we're going to invite all of you into a smaller chat room together, like a little intimate, cozy, just like say good Shabbos. What's the prompt? Ben, please tell us the prompt.
Oh, we're getting some hellos also. Hello to everybody in the chat. Our prompt tonight is...
Okay, wait. Then let's say hello.
We want to say hello. Okay.
The timing. Okay. Hey, okay, why don't we alternate? Haley Wilson, New York City. Hello.
Hello, Haley. And from Eileen, not new, and I live in Denver now and miss you in person. We miss you too, Eileen. And sending love to Denver.
Emily, you're on 117th Street. Greetings. We're going to be there. We're going to be just 2 blocks from you next night, tomorrow morning. I mean. Hello.
And we've got, looks like there's an announcement from Jade. The Rabbi David speaking on Monday on the Clubhouse X from Sag Harbor, and we have a hello from Houston. Tani, welcome.
John Baker is here for the first time. That's from Michelle Esrick. First Shabbat service here.
It's actually a lot of hellos.
Yeah, hello from Sao Paulo, from Serlinas. And first time back in a lot of months. Andy from South Africa, South Africa. I lived there for quite some time, and it's my Afrikaans accent. You didn't know I had that in my back pocket.
We have... I love that. We have, okay, Springfield, Illinois, Livia, Gabrielle, Lilia, and Amalia Savit Woods. Welcome, Springfield. Always good to have another Springfield in the house. I think we have a few of those. South Africa, okay.
South Africa, and now Ben, give us the prompt.
The prompt. So the prompt tonight is to say good Shabbos and to sort of choose your own adventure, choose the prompt for you tonight. What is going to ground you as we gather in smaller groups. So we'll see you back here in a minute, but just really say hello, share some love, and choose your own adventure tonight. Ay, ay, da dee da dum, day, ay, da day. Da dee da dum, da day, da day. Da dee da da, ya, ya. Oh, Baruch Hu. Et Adonai. Di-di-di-di-di, ay-ay-ay-ay. Hamevorach.
Ay, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Day turns to night, night turns to day. Through the light, light turns to dark, to light. Finds the glorious heavenly array. This too is the name of Yah, living and eternal until the end of time. A fountain of blessing out of deep center. Night passes through gates open, seasons change, stars swirl, eternal pathways. Ma'avir yom, u'mevi layla, mavdila bein yom ve'in layla, yaduvat shemoyla, chaya v'kayem tamid timochaleinu li'olam va'ed uchat shechina ha'ariva arabim
Ay, ay. We move to Ahavat Olam on page 42. Ahavat Olam, a chance to ground in love. Just to feel that law of attraction, that basic gravitational pull that's keeping us on the earth right now, this earthly love, Ahavat Olam. Sometimes it's hidden, you can't see the gravity, but it's eternal. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael Amcha, Avta Torah, Mitzvot, Chukim, Umishpatim, Otanu Limadat. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, והם נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Prepare for Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. If you felt that love, then you shall be able to love et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol miodecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך. Just feeling all the doors, all the gates, all the openings, all the opportunities in life, all your sense doors, all carrying this message of love, all carrying reminders to stay grounded, to stay awake, to stay in equilibrium. V'haya, shamoa tishmeu mitzvotai asher nochim tzvochem. In that equilibrium that holds all of life together, in that equilibrium that includes us, that transcends us and includes us and keeps us on this earth and of this earth and for this earth, so that we can be with earth in that equilibrium. Sometimes and teach these words to your children so they can also enjoy long heavenly days on this earth. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael lemor sulam tzitzit May all these reminders help keep you capacious and as spacious and as whole and as open only to what keeps you whole. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
That spacious capaciousness that comes when you come from the narrows. That kind of space that comes from the narrows is our liberation song. Liberation song. Amo Yisrael, Yal Kol Yoshvei Tebel, V'Yal Yerushalayim. V'Shamiru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. איי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כשתי שת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השני שבת לי נפש.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דברך ירתי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן.
שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם יומי יומיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרבה ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה.
בריחו.
יהיה לה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמי רם ביומה, ויאמרו
Amen.
We now invite you to a few moments of silence in the Amidah. Please feel free to shut your screens and to be in a quiet space. Holy flowing living waters keeping time like your beating heart. Holy flowing living waters keeping time like your beating heart. Holy flowing living waters keeping time like your beating heart. Holy flowing living waters keeping time like your beating heart. Holy flowing living waters keeping time like your beating heart. Holy flowing living waters keeping time like your beating heart.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Tonight we have Shabbat Shalom, Chazan Basya, and Ben, soon to be a rabbi. How exciting. Tonight I start with a confession. We have a double parsha. It's called Tazria Mitzorah. And I never really liked these portions. And it's a confession because I'm a rabbi. I'm supposed to like every single piece of the Torah. But, year after year, I would sort of skim over the details, contamination, leprosy, all kinds of rituals to restore someone to purity, impurity, bodily fluids. Like, what was all this? And it was just like all the details felt a little bit boring and irrelevant. And it took me a while to really get it. And a few years ago, even before the pandemic, which sort of shed a new light on the wisdom of these rituals and quarantine and contamination, I got what was profound here, or at least one profound thing. I know other profound things will emerge over the years. It takes me a while to catch on. And I want to share with you one piece of this parsha to share with you, the powerful wisdom embedded here. So there's a man who has leprosy, and it's hard to understand what leprosy mitzorah is. Tikfor Freimer-Kensky, may her memory be a blessing, a well-known Bible scholar, teaches that it's a state of death, of extreme decomposition. It's not a state that anyone wants to be in. So the priest says over a man who has leprosy, he says, Ish saruahu. He is a man afflicted with sarat. He is a leper, so to speak. Tamehu, he is impure. And then it says again, the Kohen, the priest, shall surely pronounce him unclean. His lesion is on his head. So the Kohen describes him, or the priest describes him as unclean. That's who he is, that's what he is. And then even worse, what happens is that the leper himself walks around and he's supposed to say, right? He's supposed to proclaim about his very self, Tameh, 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 Tameh. Could you imagine walking around saying, impure, impure, I'm unclean, unclean? Like, you can only imagine how he felt. What a cruel thing, right? How horrible is that? But the thing about this parsha, or these parshiot, these portions, is that there's no state that is permanent. They're all temporary. The parsha is all about being restored to purity, going from uncleanness, right, being tameh, to cleanness or impurity, to purity, to being in a state of being tahor. There's an anthropologist, Mary Douglas, a 20th century anthropologist who really writes books about Leviticus that are eye-opening. And she compares the rituals in Leviticus, particularly in this parsha, to secular society. She says, when we label people in this society, right, let's say a criminal, and that criminal tries to get out of prison and become integrated in society again, it's so hard for them because we really don't have any rituals that restore someone to their previous state of purity. And the same with spending a time, she says, in a psychiatric facility, that person is stigmatized as mentally ill for the rest of their lives. And I was thinking about labels and how we label one another. I've had some painful experiences about this in my own family. I have children with disabilities and a son with autism. And the difference between someone treating my son as if he's autistic, or a person is like, there's an abyss between those two ways of being, right? How do you approach someone? Do you approach someone as their label? Is that all they are? Or do you see that there's a full person even beyond that label, beyond that disability, beyond their illness? My son lost his capacity to speak at 6.5. That for me was a tremendous loss. And yet I understand him and know him intimately as a full person. And when I spend time with him, I hear from him, I understand from him and hear from him things that are beyond autism, and disability, or different. And what I hear from him is the full spectrum of human emotion. And states of being. I hear from him hunger, angry, frustration. And at times when he looks deep into my eyes, I hear the words soul, or love when he gives me a hug. And that, knowing that I get the full range of my son is comforting to me, even without, the fullness of language and expression. This past week, I had an encounter with a neighbor, which relates to this issue, and it was really powerful for me. I'm going to call her Shlomit, even though she wouldn't know what that word means, and she's not Jewish. It means wholeness, and she taught me a lesson about wholeness. She's a young woman. She's about 25. She was diagnosed with a brain tumor 2 years ago, and we all thought she would make it. And recently, she was told, and I was told about her, that she had 2 months to live. This woman is very dear to me. She's open and questioning and direct and loving. And I went to see her with some vegetable matzo ball soup in my hand, and I hadn't seen her in several months. I saw someone who was greatly diminished and very ill. And even though I didn't want to, because I didn't want to inflict my pain on her, I started to cry. And she looked me in the eyes and she said, "I love you." And then she said, "Everything is love." So while I was seeing and feeling loss, death, sick, she was saying to me, love. And I will never forget that. My friend, my dear friend and teacher, Rabbi Sharon Cohn-Anisfeld, writes, "We are all of us more than one thing. We are not our physical appearances, our gender, our sexuality. We are not only our profession or the roles that we fill. We are not only our religion, our ethnicity, our race, our culture. We are not only our poverty or our wealth. We are not only our disability or our illness." The lesson was brought home to me, she says, a few years ago when our son was seriously ill. I feared that his illness was all people would see when they saw him. I am forever indebted to those individuals who could see that he was more than his illness, and so helped him to see and remember that as well. When we confuse part of a person's identity or experience for the totality of who they are, we diminish the fullness of their humanity. This essential act of dehumanization is at the heart of so many forms of prejudice and most systems of oppression. It is also rooted in a kind of idolatry. So here she makes the theological connection. And she cites 2 Jewish scholars, Moshe Halbertal and Avishai Margalit, write in their book Idolatry, that one classical form of idolatry is the worship of an aspect of the divine, the separation of a part from its unity, and the worship of that separated part. It is similarly idolatrous, she says, to take one aspect of a human being created in the divine image and mistake it for the whole. When we flatten ourselves or each other in this way, we diminish our humanity and we diminish the one in whose image we are made. So according to her, everything's at stake here, right? We're actually, in a sense, when we take one part of a person's experience or one part of who they are and make it the whole, it's a kind of idolatry. Right? It's a kind of desecration of human relationship. I think what we do when we label each other is we effectively quarantine them by our labels. We're so scared of being like them, right? That we send them apart. We send them outside the camp, so to speak, of human society or outside the community by giving them labels. I know that all this vulnerability is hard to take. I know that when we see each other and we see someone who's about to die or see someone who's sick, it's very hard not to put a gulf between ourselves and the other. But let's try when we see someone else to understand that they're just like us and that their vulnerability is reminding us of ours, or their struggles are reminding us of ours, or their sort of about to die is reminding us that we're mortal. So when you encounter someone and you just hear the words sick, sick, or pain, pain, or vulnerability, vulnerability, and you feel your own fear, fear, and maybe your insides are screaming, keep away, keep away. Remember that you are them and they are you. Remember, me too, and love, love. Or in the words of my young neighbor, Shlomit, everything is love. I'm surrounded by love. The world is calling to us, each of us, with these words. Kadosh, Kadosh, holy, holy. Tahor, Tahor, pure, pure. The world is calling to each of us by name. Love, love. It invites us to respond with the same words. Love, love. Shabbat shalom.
Holy, 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 holy. Love, 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 love. Holy, 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 holy. Love, 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 love. Holy, 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 holy. Love, 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 love. Ushmo echad.
Chad echad. We now make space for mourners in our community. We mourn the loss this past week of Gretchen Elizabeth Drury, Judge Sandra Feuerstein, Shiva. Chat is open as well for additional names. Shirley Marlowe, Hermano Sorno, Dante Wright, Adam Toledo, Ted Tennant, Randy Baker, Jes Lundberg, David Rabinowitz, David Cantor, and Shloshim, the first 30 days. And the first year of loss, we remember David Rothstein, Felix Austin, Gabrielle Gottlieb, Arthur Adler, Gerald Bregman, Daisy Menkes Klein, Marion Goldstick, Jay Goldstein, Seymour Brodsky, Vera Goldman, Rafael Rios Gallardo, Seth Lesnow, Myrna Feldman, Sarah Melina Sigman, Evelyn Goodman, Arthur Siegel, Jason Andrew Brodsky, Dr. Norman Crane, Solomon Marenberg, Cecilia Romo, Stuart Fred Feit, David Weingrat, David Silverstein, Harriet Bloom, Shirley Siegel, Benjamin Wolf Telushkin, Beth Baldridge, Devorah Stoll, Lee Brox, Jean Foreman Shore. Ellsworth Levine, Erwin Bardash, Mr. L.C. Pops Floyd, Lynn Blacker, Shirley Gatzik, Grace Ten in Denmark, Rabbi Raphael Goldstein, Yitzhak Buxbaum, the Magid, Brady Rifkin, Laurette Nierenberg, Barry Kosky, Betty Levin, Nancy Trieger, Rabbi Dr. Henry Dicker, Robert Gerald Cohen, Angela Lamb Margolis, Leslie Robert Axelrod, Charlotte Figman, Seymour Borstein, my uncle Stuart Sable, Julia Eisenberg, Lily Zemet, Iona Miller, Eric Press, Hank Wesselman, Marie Sinanian, Annie Etsy, Tav Sparks, Evelyn Manorama Goodman, Yoel Yigal, and Ruti Lev, Rebecca Pat Cohen, Gilda Koppelman Rieger, Mary Armstrong Mims, Rebecca Pat Cohen, Louis Aronowitz, Harold Kistrusev, Nita A. Nelson, Michael Shmuel Funer, Rabbi David Cooper, Rev. Robert Gratz, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, Mark Evan Beitman, Anne Marie Zangara Zati Munajat, Charlie Dixon, Ido Sheffy, Cliff Bayless, Chaim Ben Lazar. Other names in the chat and on Facebook, and all the names that we're carrying in our hearts. All of those have been lost in this past year plus of COVID-19 pandemic. Victims of violence and hatred around the world, and of idolatry, and of forgetting the sacred divine image that all of us are. We remember all of these holy souls and hold in our hearts all of the mourners together. And Rabbi Diane, I wonder if you want to lead us in the mourners Kaddish.
Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yoma Divrach Hirtei, V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon V'yomechon, B'chayei D'chol B'Yisrael, B'gala U'b'zman Kariv V'imru.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Olamei Almaya.
Yitbarach V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitadler, V'yitadlal, Shemei D'Kusha.
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, damiram b'yoma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mamav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen.
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 May their memories be a blessing.
Amen.
Shall Svirata Omer, Shall Svirata Omer, Shall Svirata Omer, Shall Svirata Omer, Shava Shabbatot, Temimotiena, Shava Shabbatot. Shall Svirata Omer, Al Svirata Omer, Al Svirata Omer, Al Svirata Omer. Hayom Esrim Yom, Shehem Shnei Shavuot V'Shisha Yamim, La'omer. Yisod Shebetiferet, foundation, balance in the foundation of compassion, of beauty. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Into this cup of blessing, so many blessings. Right behind me, for the first time, playing together in this intimate way, Shai Wetzer from Israel, playing percussion and really creating the pulse and the groove. He's taking a little bit of a hiatus from the band's visit, so you can see him on the road back when things open up, potentially in October. So this is Shai Wetzer, and he's a beautiful musician, so welcome him. We are also so grateful for our staff, our clergy and davening leaders. Ben, Rabbi, I feel like you're Rabbi in like a minute. So it can be so wonderful to actually just be calling you Rabbi Ben Pearlstein. And
Thank you.
Behind the scenes, we have Rebecca and Evie, who are behind the scenes, like the unseen hands of making everything happen. Jeff was reading the announcements, and the most beautiful, deeply touching, completely moving, inspiring Dvar Torah this Shabbat. Rabbi Dayan Kohler asked us, please join us for leading the Kaddish together. And it's really great to see all of you. And I feel like the hybrid is starting to happen. Do you feel it, Ben?
I can feel it through your screen happening. I think it's happening.
You should see what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, it's even
one day at a time.
One day at a time. You can feel the resonances.
Although I feel like also after so many months, you know, having these so many of these particular rectangles in my room here, it almost feels like, you know, it's almost real. It's become such a thing. So familiar, so much love. It's so great to see everybody. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. And you know, this is not going to go away. I think it's going to always be a combination. We'll always be partially in person and partially welcoming people from all over the world, all over this country. And it's just a total blessing. And I have a cup of blessing. It's a little bit like a pen and pencil holder, but it's like we need during this time of Zoom, we need to use our imaginations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't you start us off?
Whoa, it's like the scribal Kaddish cup.
That's too much. I love that. The survival children's cup. See anybody's reactions. I'd like to see a few smiles. So every once in a while.
We definitely need it. We definitely
Maybe the
need
jokes
it.
are just not
That's
that
why we need more props. We need more props in this business. Okay.
You know, I think at this point we're allowed to go into gallery view because
we are?
During the service we're mostly not. But maybe now we can. It's really good to see you. Let's hold up your cups if you're able to hold up your cups. We won't do it, but you will do it. And we'd love to see your cups, whatever kind of cups you got. So Lita, start with
Vayera vayboker yom hashishi vayichulu hashemayim va'aretz v'chol tzevam vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayekadesh oto ki vo shavad mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot savri maranan
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho b'yavo v'ratzon uchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'bikrai kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta im kol ha'amim V'shabbat kodecha b'yava uvratzon hinchaltanu.
Baruch atah Adonai
Mekadesh Hashem
Bat. Everyone, make sure you get the full bracha.
Shabbat.
Oh. L'chaim, l'chaim, everybody. Good Shabbos.
I'd like to say goodbye to you as the sanctuary. We're going to soon say goodbye to this kind of sanctuary. Good Shabbos, Jack and Laura. Good Shabbos, Holly. Good Shabbos, Rabbi Diane. Good Shabbos, David Willinger. And it's going to be your B mitzvah tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next week. But you're part of our cohort still, and we're so excited. We can play the sanctuary song as we say good Shabbos to Michael Applebaum and Savit Woods, Carol Foreman, the Mishpacha, Asking Jamie. Oh my gosh, you and your mama. Andrea, Funer, Neely, Pearl, Alan, Joyce, Mark, Shayna, Robin, Rich, Geduldig, Jonathan Zimmett, Alexandra, Life, Marcia and Steve, our honorees for the gala this year. Marcia, one of our honorees for the gala, Karen Goldstick too, Barbara and Keith, Wendy, Sensei, Dyken, Yanira, Sarah, Penny Kagan, Bonnie, Emmett, and Ahava, Betty Palmer, so good to see you, Lauren Davidson, Bracha, Ariella, Stephen Rudin, Oriel, Jeff Kahn, look at Sinai, Darius Sivan, Rich Orloff, we're going to see you in the sanctuary tomorrow, Liz, Adele, Bob Schloss, Jory Zimmerman, Harriet Kaplan, Tammy, Shelley, Estelle, Judy Gray. You're going to be mitzvah for the second time tomorrow. Oh, it's so good to see all your faces and your drums and your instruments and your smiles and your neshamot.
Love, love. Love, love.
Yes, love for sure. Lisa Sokolov, Maddie, Emily, Karen and Jonathan, Abby Rosen, Neil, Debbie Kugelman, Lars, Abby, yeah, Michelle and John, Sharon Buckman, Michelle. And John, we said, Jack David, Marcus, really good to see you. Mijanu, love, all of you. Sean, love. Sean Hitchens, love. I feel like Linda Falk, love. Good Shabbos. And tomorrow's a big day. So good to see you. Debbie Karen Sobel, so good to see you.